This week on West of Nowhere, we discuss a plethora of interesting topics, including a quadruple amputee, a guy with no arms, no legs, who was charged in shooting somebody and trying to pull the body out of a car, which is pretty impressive. It's bad, but impressive. We also discuss a pair of people who were banned from donating sperm in Quebec, Canada. Then we go on to discuss some of the interesting things happening around the world, like the Iran conflict and some of the interesting ways that it is being phrased by certain people in leadership positions, as well as Druski and his viral sketch involving a parody of conservative women. And one such conservative woman who took issue with it. And then we have Tiger Woods involved in a crash, a rollover crash, and suspected of driving under the influence, though he did not submit for a field sobriety test, so not looking great. And then in this week's Am I the Asshole? Is it wrong to withhold donations from somebody? And you'll find out the reason. It's not just as simple as that. But we would like to thank the following people: Pantera Girl, Colton Zammersla, Lord Reverend Professor Rusty J. Lugnuts, Kevin Garahan, Kylie and Elliot Gangwish, and Mark Stadler, and away we go.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm on it.
Hey, freak show! You're going nowhere!
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Hello, kids and coaches, and welcome to another episode of West of Nowhere. I am Levi.
And I'm Shane.
And I almost definitely didn't forget what I was supposed to say, even though I've said it probably 100 some times. I don't know when I started saying that, but it's been a while, so. But not long enough, apparently.
I honestly cannot remember when you started saying it. And I remember someone commenting and going, "Why do you say kids and coaches?" And I was like, it's sexy. It gets the people going. That's why.
It's, people don't get it unless they get it. And if you don't get it, I can't explain it to you because you don't get it.
Yeah.
So.
And if you have to ask, you can't afford it. So.
Yep, that's right. Do you work on commission? Big mistake. Huge. So anyway, today's video is sponsored by a pretty woman. And that feeling you get when somebody cuts you off and they get stuck behind a different car. So that's what today's video is sponsored by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what it's not sponsored by: Erica Kirk or Cornhole. So, but before we get into that, two of Shane's favorite things. We got some comments to read. Kylie was very quick to comment on the video. It was so quick, in fact, that she commented first and then didn't continue to count. So nobody knows who second was, but it's fine. Guess we'll just figure it out on our own. Kylie also has to say about the Afro Man situation that it's one of her favorites of all time. Of all the people for this to happen to, one of the funniest rappers ever. God's got a sense of humor and, the First Amendment prevails. Yeah, in things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. The First Amendment is upheld. Now, when you try to apply it to things that matter, guess what? So anyway, Kylie's a lawyer now, by the way, so seek her for all legal advice. No, she's not a lawyer, but the place she works at updated their, bio for workers, on their website, and they mistakenly put attorney above her. I was like, wait a minute, that's not true, is it?
Which she worked hard.
Very careful what I say around you.
Oh, you just give her $1 and then you're her client. You have lawyer client
confidential.
Yeah.
Nice. She says at the 32-38 mark, one of the quickest ways to age yourself, remembering when MTV aired music videos consistently. Yeah. And now it's dead. Like, they killed it, so.
MTV's gone?
Apparently. I don't know.
I don't watch cable anymore.
I feel like they say that every 3 years, and then there's like a bunch of people posted about it. It was like, oh, well, they've been dead for fucking 15, 20 years already. Like, okay. Real original. Mom. No. But yeah, so anyway, MTV fucking sucks. Let's see. Shane's secret girlfriend making another appearance. Okay. She says, or he, the only reason I know of Afro Man is because of his song Palmdale. Anytime anyone asks where I'm from, I reference his song. Otherwise, no one knows where I'm talking about. So anyway, now we know where you live.
Good job.
I already did, but it's fine.
You need to practice better OPSEC.
Yeah. River City 2, way to go. All your fault. And to follow up, Shane's secret girlfriend also posted, proud to be a future, in parentheses, failed Tinder date. So, yeah. Not failed yet. So, that's pretty cool.
Well, you heard it here, guys. I have a stalker.
Yeah.
If I die or disappear, find out who's connected to that account. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes you have failed Tinder dates. Sometimes you are the failed Tinder date. You know what I mean? Let's talk about your cornhole butt.
Hey.
And that's not a euphemism. Unless.
He definitely did it. Let's just be like.
Okay, so we have a cornhole. I don't even know if he's like a champion or what his deal is, but he's got no arms or legs. Lieutenant Dan.
Well, he's got stubs.
He's got stubs. And he has been arrested. Would love to see the handcuffs that they used. First degree murder, second degree murder, first degree assault, second degree assault using a firearm in a violent felony after a fatal shooting, which killed this other guy, whose last name is very similar to somebody in this room. He's got your last name. The victim.
Yeah.
Are you dead right now? So, oh no, this guy's only 27. You're way older than that. So,
whoa.
A lot of hostility coming from the microphone. I don't know what's going on. Must have got a virus in there or something.
You ain't no far behind me, all right?
Please. Look at you, look at me.
Look, just because most of the avid listeners of our show are your friends, they're going to agree with you in the comments. But if like anyone objectively watched the show, they'd be like, Shane is the better looking. He can't be smart and good looking. He's just good looking. Levi, you're smart and mediocre looking.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call a certain Italian woman that we know, and I'm going to tell her you miss her and really get this party going, you know?
Look, I've been thinking about something for a couple weeks now.
Well, not that one, but...
There's another Italian woman we know that's violent?
Oh, okay. Well, you quoted the other woman that we know. That's
yeah.
We
don't know too many women at the same time. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of cross-section between us.
But we could. Anyway, sign up for our OnlyFans. We really do need to get that going. It's almost lawn mowing season, so I'm going to...
And we have some fucking solid ideas.
We really do. I'm a little upset with how, A, quickly they came to us, and B, how many there are that we're not doing, because we might break the internet, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, there will be a small minority that's like, really? That's your type of humor? And we're going to be like, shut up, bitch. No, Shane will say that. I won't, because I like women, but...
Well, hold on. You only like women who are 40 and below. Once they cross 40, you hate blue hairs.
That's
your
true.
words. Go back in the chat.
Well, okay. Not all 40-year-olds have blue hair, though. That's the thing.
I'm saying above 40. You hate anything above 40.
That's not true, though.
Yeah, because you're getting closer to 40. So you have
Longoria, I've loved her for many years, and she's been above 40 the whole time. So...
Really?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. What do you mean, really?
She's been above 40 the whole time?
Well,
Is she like 60
I found
now?
out about her from Desperate Housewives, and she's like a mom in that show. So I don't know.
I mean, I figured she's probably in her early 30s at that point.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. All I know is her and Michael Scott share a birthday. So sorry I don't know enough about my wife. Sorry she doesn't talk to me. Sorry she doesn't know who I am.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's what I've been like cooking up, right? The reason why we think movie stars look good for so long is because they're playing as a 25-year-old, they're playing a 36 or 38-year-old.
Yeah.
And so by the time they're really 38, 40, you're like, they haven't changed. They're the same.
Yeah.
So that's why our time is skewed when we see stars who are like, yo, they've been alive forever.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that there's people who make, 5, 6 movies in 1 year, but the movies don't all come out that same time.
Yeah.
They just filmed their part all around the same time. So it could be a 3-4 year window that these movies are coming out, and it's the person as they were, 28 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're like, man, that's crazy. I feel like just the other day they were in this other movie where they were like 10 or something.
We are in the weeds.
Yeah. Anyway, cornhole guy killed somebody, and he's got no arms or legs, and it's pretty fascinating in one of those sick and twisted ways. But let's see what we got here. It says that the court records say that one witness told investigators that Weber, the cornhole player, picked up 2 people from their workplace in a white Tesla. Obviously, they kind of drive themselves. And that this other person that he shot was already in the front passenger seat. That witness said the 2 men were arguing while the vehicle was moving on an unknown section of this road. And during the argument, Weber, the cornhole player, pulled a gun out and shot the victim twice in the head. And then this is crazy, pulled the vehicle over and asked the other people in the car to pull this guy out of the vehicle, and they refused, and then exited the vehicle, and then the guy drove off.
And then from what I read, he dumped the body further down in another yard.
Yeah, which is impressive. There's a whole lot of really impressive things happening here, because I want to hold on. Let me get a picture going. This guy.
Yes, professionals.
Well, this is the first time I've ever tried doing it on this computer, and so it's being...
While he's doing that, I'd like to say we're not saying he's guilty because we don't know, obviously. We're just saying it is a crazy fucking story.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for him, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But
not great. I can't share it because I have to quit the
what's his
program
name
I'm using right now. Dayton James Weber.
So just Google him. Dayton James Weber.
Yeah.
And you'll see how shocking it is that he was able to shoot someone.
Shoot somebody and then move their body. A full dead human body is not light.
Yeah.
And they're very awkward because, that's unbalanced weight. It's not like your fucking barbell at the gym where it is evenly distributed. It is literally just lopsided weight that doesn't adjust. And that's not that I've moved dead bodies before, but I've carried enough drunk people in my day to know that's pretty similar. So yeah, anyway, so we'll be following that storyline as it goes. Also on the financial front for the show, it's bad news because according to this article, 2 men accused of fathering hundreds of kids are banned from donating sperm. So we're gonna have to find another way to fund the show.
Yeah.
No,
Tell me how this keeps happening. You know what I mean? Like there was that documentary on Netflix about that guy who did it in the Netherlands and Sweden, and
yeah,
there
he
are
was just dumping clips into every cup in the building. And yeah, I don't know. Here's my confusion though. This is they were like, you can't donate anymore, which means there's a limit. And I'm curious as to how many quarts or gallons or whatever that is, but they don't say. So there's also a superior court. So it's in Canada. Quebec's security court has temporarily barred a man and his son from donating sperm after they were accused of fathering hundreds of children. Oh, sorry, we made your system work? My bad. You wanted sperm, and we gave you a bunch, and now there's babies? Isn't that the whole thing of this deal? I don't know.
That's so crazy to me.
They are being sued by a woman who has had 3 children using the sperm of one man and a fourth child with the genetic material of the man's son. Yeah, you're going to a fucking sperm bank, dude. Aren't you picking the shit?
Also,
is that not how that works?
Also, why is the sperm bank letting her pick the same shit every time?
Yeah. Oh, wait. But don't you want your children to be brother, sister, and also uncle, nephews? You know? Brother, nephews, or uncles? Brunkles? She says that the two men violated the terms of their agreement, which allegedly stipulated that one man would stop donating sperm after fathering 25 children, and the other would stop after 10.
Wait,
How does she know?
yeah, that's odd.
This is a weird fucking deal. I don't know, man. Yeah, the documents say that two men deny ever agreeing to stop donating sperm. Amen, brother. But admit to fathering more children than the limit to which the plaintiff alleges they are subject to.
I'm really loving this right now. It's so stupid.
There's so many confusing twists and turns that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so a lot of cool stuff happening in Quebec. Let's see what's happened south of the border. Probably a lot of normal stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. Pete Hegseth, the lady desk job title of defense.
War daddy.
Fucking Poser McGee, the 8th grader's idea of a tough guy. What else?
Why don't you just tell me how much you like him?
I can't. I like how much he drinks because it makes me hopeful that he'll get cirrhosis and die soon. But
Jesus.
fuck this guy, dude. He sucks. What do you want? I know he's kind of your boss, but okay. So here's what happened. He's giving a fuck it these stupid town halls that he does so he can try and become a clip machine. And I gotta say badass things so people think I'm tough. Because I'm a big boy, and I want people to know I go pee-pee in a potty. So he's talking about the, Iran deal going on, and he's said, listen, we're trying to get the Christian leadership here. We're praying for every round to find its mark. We're praying against those who deserve no mercy. He is praying for God to basically kill them with him. This is so fucking dumb, dude. Let every round find its mark, dear Heavenly Father. Let every round find its mark against the enemies of righteousness in our great nation. Give them wisdom in every decision, endurance for the trial ahead, unbreakable unity, and overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy.
So I will say, without talking bad about him, that praying like that out in the open is like an indirect. Like, isn't that like goes against what we talk about, like the separation of church and state?
Well, I'm glad.
And then trying to make it into like a holy war is the wrong idea.
Yeah,
it's not about our religions. It shouldn't be. I don't think it should be for us. Maybe it is for the other side, whatever. But it shouldn't be that for us. That's not how we operate.
Yeah,
we shouldn't be. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I agree. So. Yeah, I mean, this is all accurate. There's a separation of church and state. We don't run the government on holy wars. It's so crazy to me because if you described a person who, at their core, is desperate to be seen as this war leader, they have renounced all former titles and now have taken on new titles as the leader in war, and are talking about how their God, let's just, for a little fun hypothetical, say he says Allah instead of God, and he's talking about how much he wants Allah to help him destroy his enemies, infidels. Like, it's really not that fucking different from the people that we're supposed to be angry at. And it's not even those people that we're going after. It's a completely different fucking thing. And it's stupid. And I hate it. I hate all of it. It's so fucking dumb. You know what's really funny? Do you know what Allah means?
God.
Yeah. That's just Arabic. It's not his name. That's like Muslims don't believe in a different God. They just use their language to say the word. And,
yeah.
You know, the only difference between the two religions, like theologically, is that they have different leading prophets in their religion. Obviously, Islam has Muhammad and Christianity has the bearded baby who walking across the water, you know.
Yeah, Christianity and Islam, they have the same Old Testament.
Yeah, well, and that's also
where they diverge. And then diverge because of Muhammad and Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it all splits. And then Judaism is the one that's like, no, we're just going to keep believing all this same stuff forever, basically. It's like the main vein. And then these other ones are just like the little.
Well, there's so many Christian religions, dude. It's crazy. What is it? Pentecostal, Methodist, Baptist.
We're never going to be able to think of all of them because every single one has a slightly different version of things. And I'm starting to think that maybe the Mormons are the ones that got it figured out, and they're the craziest ones. So, they're always happy as hell, and I don't get it. And they're nice, and they don't drink soda. And
they don't drink alcohol, and they don't consume nicotine, which is crazy to me.
They don't move their hips when they fuck. No, they do. They just have to wait till they're married. I'm obviously kidding. I don't think the Mormons got it figured out either. But I remember seeing this infographic once, and it was like a root system or like a family tree of religions and where each one kind of splintered off from a different thing. Yeah, it was very fascinating, and there was a fuck ton because obviously, but there's also a weird so all of the major religions with the exception of Hinduism and Buddhism are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, right? Those are considered the big three outside of Hindu and Buddhism. So those three obviously originated from the same fucking square mile. Not really, but that same pocket of land that all three of these came from. And all of these religions have the same kind of messaging. It's obviously slightly different for each one, but it all stems from desert living people. And all of the fucking other religions ever that have existed all over the planet are vastly different and mostly pretty fucking chill. So it's this crazy spyglass into an ancient time of how this religion was shaped around the way that people lived back then.
Yeah.
Because you look at I turned this episode into Remedial Scholar, my bad. But if you look into the indigenous cultures around the world, it's all very spiritual, one with nature kind of thing. The water is a god and the trees are a god and whatever. Don't pretend to sleep. Don't do that to me. I'm gonna fucking stab you. And then you get people like Wolf's parents, who the Vikings with their spirituality, which they are white, but they have very similar beliefs to all of the indigenous cultures, and they didn't grow up in a desert. So anyway, it's my religious talk for the day. Let's get into something fun, shall we?
Please.
Let's talk about Druski. Let's talk about his spot-on impression of some lady who's not taking it well at all.
Crazy eyes herself.
So, for those of you who don't know and don't live on the internet like we do, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, there's a internet personality. I hesitate to call him an influencer because he's kind of passed into the threshold of he's just part of culture now. He's in everything. He's everywhere. But Druski does a lot of skits, video skits, and he's doing a bunch of different random shit. One point he dressed up as a redneck dude and went to a NASCAR race, and his makeup team is phenomenal. If you look at the picture from that, if you just type in Druski redneck outfit and you didn't know what he looked like beforehand, you'd be like, yeah, it's just a good old boy watching some NASCAR. Good Lord.
Okay.
It's very convincing. And also, for those of you who don't know, Druski is part African American. Apparently, his grandpa's white. When everybody come full circle, but he dresses up as the typical conservative woman in America. How conservative women in America act, and he just does basically a spot-on parody of Erica Kirk, a day after her husband got shot, with the fucking fireworks and the dance moves. the crazy ass eyes and shit. And naturally, the people on the other side of the fence who were very sad when her husband was killed, very mad about this, which is ironic because how often do we hear that exact same side going, you guys don't know how to take a joke anymore. You guys are just so sensitive, but we can't make fun of a widow. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and list all the thousands of widows you've probably made fun of because they were whatever. You made fun of that lady whose wife got shot by ICE in fucking Minneapolis. Oh, that's different. She tried to run him over. Anyway, Druski, it's so fucking... I got, like, it pulled up just on one half of my screen, and it's just the face.
Yeah.
So fucking funny, dude. And the response has been pretty crazy. Now, there's also a lot of fake responses going around, so this is part of the problem with it. But what is very funny, and the ones I've seen, and I'm not going to fucking go and try and figure out if they're real or not because I don't care. The joke is funny to me anyway, regardless if it's real or not. Because it's like, can you imagine if she was like, blah, 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 and then it's funny. Anyway, the first one I found was that she had sent a cease and desist order to him, which his team has said that has not happened. Now, another thing that I've seen is that she's like, really? Okay, so we can't do blackface, but you can put on whiteface, because that's obviously the same, lady. I've never understood how people can get to that. Like, that's, you can just pretend to be white, and that's okay? Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And then fucking on Twitter, Elon Musk's AI on Twitter keeps confirming that Druski is actually Erica Kirk. Like, every time that fucking picture of Druski and the makeup pops up, people are like, Druski, or fucking Grok, who is this? And it's like, that's Erica Kirk, who famously filmed a video with internet celebrity Druski, blah, blah, blah. And so Erica Kirk, in this thing that I found, again, don't know if it's real or not, but I fucking hope so. And she's like tagging Elon, hey, you gotta get your AI under control because this is where it's headed. It doesn't know what's real or not. Like, literally so much more passion and anger and hostility over this fucking skit than we saw at all after, you know, her husband and father of her children was murdered on live TV. But you know, I don't know. People grieve differently, I guess, but I wouldn't use fireworks, maybe. That's probably the line I would stop at. I'd still fill an arena, you know, whole stadium for sure, but just maybe no fireworks. Maybe a monster truck. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, we're having fun. America's back. Tiger Woods involved in a DUI rollover crash, so we're back, baby. If you have the ability to invest in white blondes with an air of maybe they're escorts about them, I would, because he's probably going to be going through them here soon, because that's what happened. It's so crazy, though, because, like, literally last week, I got an ESPN update, and it was like, Tiger Woods is back, baby! And it wasn't about this. It would be way funnier if it was, but
yeah.
You know, then this week it happens, and it's like...
What's crazy is there's that app now called Kashi or whatever, where you can, like, bet on anything. Like, is it going to rain on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
I guarantee you can go on there and be like, is Tiger Woods going to sleep with a prostitute in the next...
Yeah.
How many women you can bet money on it?
You gotta fucking hit the overs on how many women he's gonna get caught with now. Hell yeah, dude. Imagine if they had that back in the day. Hey, how many people is O.J. Simpson gonna murder with a knife? Probably 2.
0. Pfft, obviously.
Yeah.
The glove
glove
did not fit. You must acquit.
Yeah. Found guilty in civil suit, but it's fine. All right. Last thing. And YouTube and Meta, the company that owns Facebook and all the things, so Meta and Google effectively, have been found guilty of, you want to take a guess at it?
using your microphone to listen to you and give you ads based on what your microphone says.
No, that'd be fun though. Intentionally building an addictive social media platform that harms the health of younger people, children, right?
Facebook?
People who aren't frontally developed. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the things in that area. To which I say,
Man.
no shit, dude. No fucking shit. Yeah. What, are you surprised by this?
I guess I'm surprised about YouTube because there's actually a lot of really good shit on YouTube.
There
like
is,
I could see
but the algorithm pushes the dumb shit to people. And that's the problem. You get shit like
Okay.
Coco Melon edits with fucking, I don't know, something.
or Skibbity Toilet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose Skibbity Toilet's probably not one of the good things on YouTube. I would go out on a limb and say probably, but anyway. Today's episode is not sponsored by Skibbity Toilet anymore. Where they fucking go, dude? Yeah. Anyway. That's all I got.
Well, hide your kids, hide your wife from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You know, it's just how it is, I guess. But
Yeah.
since you're still here and you're still having a good time, let's play a little game.
Stomp
You
the
ready?
jump. Stomp the jump.
Nah, I think you're gonna get this one. But here's the picture I laughed about earlier.
That's the name
First
of it.
actor, Evan
Hell
something.
yeah. Fucking yoke, dude.
He's come so far from
Yeah.
like
yeah.
yeah.
From
Like remember in the Butterfly Effect when he was fucking
I was
huge.
just gonna say that, the butterfly effect, and then part of me was like, man, I hope he picked the butterfly effect because that would be fucking hilarious. You remember in the butterfly effect when he was fucking massive and you're like, God, fuck, God.
All right, next actor, Sam.
My
Shepard.
name's Earl. That's a TV show. I know. Sam
Yeah,
Shepard.
good job. All right, next actor, Natalie Portman.
My wife. Hello.
Hello. All right, next actor, Jake Gyllenhaal. All right, and this is right. I think this is where you'll get it. And last but not least, Tobey Maguire.
Brothers?
It is brothers.
Yeah. I didn't know Evan Suplee was in that.
He's like a background. He's Jake Gyllenhaal's like buddy that helps and comes fix the kitchen. Like he's only in like, yeah, he's like I think he's in like 3 scenes.
Yeah, 2009 is kind of like at the end of his popularity, really, because he was really big and like he was in everything in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
He was in Blow. He was, yeah, and Butterfly
Blues. No,
Effect.
not Varsity Blues. Yeah, he was in Varsity Blues, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was. Yeah. He's the guy that kept getting the concussion, right?
No, that's a different.
No.
He was in another movie like that. If it wasn't Varsity Blues, though.
Wait, Remember the Titans.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
And then he was on My Name Is Earl, and that's when I would say it kind of started to peter out. But
Yeah, probably. That's fair.
yeah, man, I haven't watched Brothers probably since it came out, honestly. I just remember being like, God, fuck, this is a lot.
I think I saw like a clip on Instagram or something, and I was like, I need to rewatch that movie.
Yeah,
And I watched it the other night, and I was like, dude, this movie is so rough.
yeah.
It's actually really. Tobey Maguire does a very, very good job.
Dude, yeah, he's great in that movie. It's fucking unnerving, unsettling as hell, but he does a really great job. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. If you made it this far, stop what you're doing. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us comments and reviews. You know, I've been noticing on the downloads that we are getting international. So hello out there across the world listening to us. Happy you're here. Please come back. You know, we enjoy. I'm in love with the fact that all of you guys are enjoying the show. So let us know how you feel in the comments.
Yeah. And tell us how to say our names in your language.
If you want to become a subscriber, head on over to Linktr.ee/wokpod. That's Linktr.ee/WOKPOD.
The link is in the description. If you can't understand how we talk, I get it. Couple small town hillbillies around here.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to hand over money raised for a coworker after learning something that changed my mind?
Ooh, I'm so excited because I have a story about this. Go ahead.
I'm 26 female and work in a small office where everyone tends to chip in when someone's going through a hard time. Recently, one of my coworkers told us she was struggling financially due to a sudden medical issue and might not be able to cover the rent.
Ooh.
A few of us felt really bad and decided to organize a small fundraiser. I ended up taking the lead since I'm usually the one coordinating group things. I reached out to everyone, collected contributions, and even added some of my own money. Altogether, it came out to a decent amount that could genuinely help her get through the month. Before handing it over, I asked her if she was okay with me giving it to her directly or if she preferred another method. She seemed a bit hesitant and said she will get back to me, which I thought was odd, but I didn't push. A day later, another coworker pulled me aside and told me that the other coworker we contributed for had apparently been talking about planning a trip out of town around the same time she claimed she couldn't pay rent. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I casually asked her again about her situation, and her answers felt vague and didn't really line up with what she had originally told us. At that point, I got uncomfortable. I didn't accuse her of anything, but I decided to hold on to the money and told the contributors I wanted to clarify a few things before passing it along. Now she's upset and says I embarrassed her and made it seem like I don't trust her. A couple of coworkers think I should have just given her the money, no questions asked, since it was already collected for her. Others are saying it's better to be cautious. For now, I've kept the money aside and haven't used it for anything else. I'm trying to figure out the best way to handle it without making things worse. So am I the asshole?
No, I would say specifically because you're being cautious, I would say probably not. Here's what I would do. Take the money, figure out who their lease company is, whoever they're renting through, and take it there. Like, hey, this is for so-and-so's rent.
Yeah.
Because even if, even if it's, they don't need it, they'll take it and they'll apply it to the account. Like, it's not, so, like, you're only getting money for rent. We're not giving it to you and then this, like, it's just going straight to rent.
Yeah. Here's my thing, right? So let's just call that random coworker Tina. You don't know if Tina hates the chick they're collecting money for, and it's just like, because that's the only person, according to the story, that's the only person that said anything about that, and everyone else. So it's like she's saying that that's what she talked about.
Yeah.
And so
like
now
they got some like beef or something, and
yeah. And I think if with that being what it's possible, right? Like if that chick, if Tina's telling the truth, then fine. But if Tina's not telling the truth, then now you do look like an asshole because you don't know her story. All you know is she's having a hard time. She shouldn't, like, if you guys typically take money for everybody, you don't get to just, like, I don't feel like you get to give her the third degree about why she needs it. She's telling you guys she has a hard time. This is what you guys normally do for people having a hard time.
yeah.
If it comes out later that she was, lying, then fine. Then there you go. Fucking, she burned that bridge.
So that's the story. I have a story about that. I worked at this place in a town with some people, and one of these people, this all happened before I worked there, but one of these people had a family member in a specialty hospital, and they had a GoFundMe and all the things set up and doing all that. And then it was found out that they also, they got a grant for this or something like that. So the hospital was not charging them. And so they just had all of the money from the thing, from the GoFundMe. And the guy, next thing you know, shows up to work in a newer vehicle, which he already had a new vehicle. Shows up with a newer one, and was constantly buying cars, just a very kind of weird circumstance. And yeah,
that guy's an asshole. Yeah,
not a good look, but yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, not a good look at all. Back on the am I the asshole story, you think not the asshole?
Correct.
And I think asshole.
I think that they're just being cautious, and there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, let's do.
Especially since they didn't refund it, they didn't give it all back. They're just waiting, which I don't know what they're waiting for, but
I'm glad you said that. Number one comment: what do you mean you haven't used the money for anything else? It either goes to the coworker or it goes back to the people who donated it there. There's no other options. Am I missing something?
Yeah. Actually, you can take it to the casino and put it all on red.
Hey,
that's called a solid investment opportunity.
I think that's what she should do. I think OP should go. Put it all on red or black, dealer's choice. And then if it doubles, you give the chick the first half and you give everybody else their money back. Boom.
Alternate idea. Put it all on green.
Jesus.
and then keep it.
And then keep it. I mean, she's already keeping it.
Yeah, but actually spend it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't just watch it collect dust. That's fucking.
Well, this is what here's what she's going to happen, right? I wish there was an update, but there's not. She's going to go back and she's going to put the money into a work fund. Like, I already took you guys don't need this money. I already took it. And then they're going to use it to throw a party for when that lady, gets kicked out of her house, and then they use a party to cheer her up.
Hey, we got you ice cream.
I hope you like cake.
Ice cream and streamers. Sorry you're homeless.
Bury Marie Antoinette of her,
Yeah. Sorry, unhoused. You can't.
Dude, well, I don't understand how I know this is totally off topic, whatever. I want to know where it became rude to say homeless and unhoused because they mean the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
One just sounds weird when you say it.
Yeah. It's because there's people who don't live in a house, but they're not homeless because they live in their car or in a tent at the park and scare children.
I mean, you are still technically homeless.
Yeah. You're without a permanent address.
Yeah. That's what homeless means.
I'm on board with it.
Okay, cool. I was kind of worried. I know that you are a bleeding heart leftist. I know.
Drag my sack across your face.
And with that, I'd like to thank our supporters, our friends in podcast.
Wait.
I think the Macabre Emporium stopped being a podcast.
No, I think that did it?
They haven't put a video up on YouTube in like 5 months.
Well, maybe.
But go check out the Macabre Emporium, a real creature feature, History Goon, Intercepted Signals. If you missed last week's episode, go back and check out Intercepted Signals. We have David on from Intercepted Signals. It was a great time.
Yeah, he's a hoot and a half, and definitely a real human for sure.
Definitely a real human, not a lizard person at all.
Nope.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you want to hear Levi wax poetically about his topic, like religion, forever and ever and ever without end, check out The Remedial Scholar.
I haven't even talked about religion in like 5 episodes. That's it. I've had enough. Peace out, bitches.
Tip your bartender.